The Jealous Barber. When the courtiers heard that Akbar had invited Birbal to join his court, they were not very happy. They believed that a farmer like Birbal did not have the right to stand along with them in the Akbar's court. They were very proud men who were afraid that Birbal would prove that he was more intelligent than them and become king's favorite. The courtiers got together and convinced the king's personal barber to help them get rid of Birbal. The barber was afraid at first, but when the courtiers promised him a bag of gold coins, he agreed to help them. The next day, the barber visited the palace to give the king's beard a trim. When he was at work on the king's beard, the barber said to the king, "My king, last night I had a dream about your father who is in heaven." The king looked up at the barber with sadness in his eyes. Akbar's father died when he was a little boy, and Akbar had always wished that he could do something to make his father's soul happy. The barber continued, "Your father visited me in my dream and told me that he was very bored in heaven. He asked me to inform you that he would be very happy if you could send someone like Birbal to heaven. Your father has been watching Birbal from heaven and he knows that Birbal will brighten up his life." The king looked very sad. Birbal was already his favorite courtier, but the king missed his dad more. He had no choice but to accept his father's wishes. Akbar did not know that this was wicked to get rid of Birbal. He called for Birbal and told him about the barber's dream. When he had finished, he said to Birbal, "I know that you have just joined my court, and I know that you are still a very young man, but I must obey my father's wish. I have to send you to heaven by killing you. I hope you understand." Birbal knew that this was a plan because he saw the guilty look on the barber's face. He smiled at the king and said, "How could I say no to a great emperor like you? I will be honored to go to heaven and entertain your father, but I would like you to give me a week time to spend with my family." Akbar was in tears. He looked at Birbal and said, "Of course, you are a great man. I will give you 1 week to prepare for your death." Just before leaving, Birbal said, "There is just one more thing, Your Highness. According to our family tradition, he should be buried near our house. Would it be okay if I dug a grave for myself near my house?" The king agreed. Birbal left the court, pretending to look very sad. The wicked courtiers were very happy that they would soon watch Birbal die. Only the barber seemed very guilty that he had made an innocent man die. Birbal went home and began digging a grave for himself. He had a fantastic plan. After digging the grave for himself, Birbal began digging a tunnel that led from bottom of the grave right into his house. When he had finished, he covered the entrance of the tunnel with rocks so that no one would notice. After 1 week, Birbal went to the palace and met Akbar. Akbar looked very sad when he asked Birbal, "How would you like to die, Birbal? I will make sure that you do not feel any pain." Birbal replied, "I would like to be buried alive. I know that I will reach heaven faster if I were buried alive." Akbar said, "Very well, I will have you buried alive in the grave near your house." Then Akbar looked up towards the sky and said loud, "I am sending Birbal to you. I hate to see him die, but if it make you happy, then I am happy." The king and all the courtiers went along with the guards to Birbal's house. Birbal said goodbye to his family and quietly got into the grave. Akbar cried as the guards covered Birbal with sand. After a while they left. As soon as the guards had finished covering Birbal with sand, he removed the rocks from the tunnel and crawled right into his house. Birbal hid in his house for 3 weeks. He did not step out of the house for anything, and during that time he did not shave his beard or cut his hair. After 3 weeks, he rushed out of his house with a long hair and shabby beard. Birbal went straight to the palace. When he rushed in, everyone fell back in fear. The king shouted, "You are alive! How did you get back from heaven?" Birbal bowed before the king and said, "I had a wonderful trip to heaven. I had the honor of meeting your father and entertaining him. After 3 weeks, your father decided that he had enough entertainment and asked me to go back to earth." Akbar rushed over to Birbal and gave him a hug. Akbar said, How we all missed you during the 3 weeks. We are so happy to have you back. Did my father give you any messages for me? Birbal said, "Of course, Your Majesty. Father said to thank you for sending me to entertain him. And see, I have not been able to shave my beard or cut my hair. Your father asked me to tell you that there are no barbers in heaven. He wanted to know if you could send your personal barber to heaven to cut his hair." The barber, who was standing nearby, began to cry out loud, "I don't want to die, I don't want to die. I was tricked into telling you a lie. Your courtier promised me a gold if I helped them getting rid of Birbal. Please forgive me, don't kill me." Akbar was shocked. He asked the barber and Birbal to explain their actions. After he has heard the entire story, Akbar began laughing. He said to Birbal, "You are an amazing man. With your intelligence, you have shown me how foolish I can be. I will have the barber punished with 100 lashes. And as for those wicked courtiers who tried to get rid of you, I will have them banished from our kingdom." Birbal went home a very happy man. Okay guys, thanks for watching.